All right. Finally, finally, after how long? I don't even remember. Like the first attempt, then they're trying to merge, and then what? About an hour tonight,
Hey,
right? Almost an hour.
when you gotta get it done, you gotta get it done.
So finally, we well, this is gonna be our first video for the people, but technically our second video, which I believe was really really good, but um, trying to we had some technical difficulties, so pretty much your thing shut down, and then mine's kept going, and then trying to combine them wasn't working. It just wasn't working. So maybe one day we will do some kind of patchwork and put it out for people who actually are really interested in what we have to say in the conversations that we have.
Which they will.
So I guess so. So I know this sounds. We started off kind of weird now, right? Because it's like, we're starting. I'm not gonna say weird. A little bit odd, because this is our second video together, but we've been friends for how long? Like 30 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this past like September or whatever, or this month, I think it's 30 years, I think. Right? Because you were out of school, for a little bit.
Right.
And then you came in. So I believe it was probably around this time
that
you came.
Crazy. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this month, this month or next month will be the 30th year that we have known each other.
Right.
So I guess I could try to start it off kind of from here, how we did it the first time. Pretty much, my name is Lewis. That's what most people call me. This is Abad. And, like we've said a few seconds ago, we've been friends for 30 years. And we've been different places. We grew up in Brooklyn, New York, but we kind of like, went different places and then reconnected through time, even though we're still not in the same state right now. But pretty much we've been having like really amazing conversations, and one day, Abad, I call him A, you were like, yo, bro, we need to like record this. Like, this is some gems. And the funny thing about it is we will be having these amazing conversations, and then we'll kind of forget what the other one said. It'll be like, yo, you said that? I said that? When did I say that? And it's like, you said it last week. But it's like we're touching different things, and it's not specific to any genre of idea or thought. It's like we talk about finance, credit building, home buying, spirituality, physical health, mental health, relationships, the difficulties in all of those things, right? The good and the bad and all of those things. And we just talk about our life with each other, and then try to help each other make it through that difficult time. And then we help each other rejoice and, applaud when we have those amazing good times. But we felt like after having so many like really beautiful conversations together, we should record it. We said we should record this. And first we were like, maybe we should record it on our phone, just the voices. And it was like, maybe we should just like videotape it, somehow, and put it out there for those, because what we've done together as friends is help each other build in a realistic way, I think, right? Would you agree with that? Like we're not like, hey, you're gonna be a millionaire tomorrow, or you'll be a spiritual guru next week. We actually we've done and practiced things in a realistic manner that helped us move forward in our life and do things better, and able to maneuver this thing called life, a little bit easier, even in difficult times.
Yes.
So we just want to share our realistic success, our realistic making it through the fire, making it through the difficulties, because that's life, right? Life is not without difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much what we wanted to share. What we want to share with people through time is the different conversations that we have, and so you're gonna get to know us. You're gonna get to hear our conversations, and then hopefully some of you really in tune with what we're saying, and what we say kind of help stir something in you. And then you kind of make comments and questions, and you add to our you add to what we have to say, because we're still learning as we go, right? So what do you think, A?
Good job at it.
Right. We're still going at it. So so what is something, I know what I wanted to kind of talk about tonight, which is a kind of thing was a different, like earlier today, I didn't know what we were going to talk about, but then I went through things this morning and then into the afternoon that I guess prompted me to want to share about my own experiences and my own, success or fighting through the struggle. As we spoke earlier, I went through something, with a person who pretty much like we had a disagreement, or I don't even say disagreement. We just had a very intense conversation, and that person twisted it and tried to, like, in my face too, like, said, well, no, well, you saying this and you saying that. And I'm like, I didn't say that. I literally did not say that. Like, you're saying half of what I said. And so it makes it sound bad. But if you say the whole thing, then it's not bad. It's actually, telling you how I feel. And so what I got from that, is that in life, sometimes we think we know people, good or bad. Sometimes we think that person is a fantastic person, that person is a terrible person. But we really don't know people until time kind of tests their relationship with us. Right? It's like sometimes we might think a person is bad or not good for us. But then you might give it 6 months, 7 months, a year of interactions with this person. You realize, oh, they've helped me grow. They weren't malicious in any way. They were actually helping me grow. But then you think there's a person that supports you.
Mm.
And then you find out this person definitely does not. So, like, they hate you, actually. They're jealous of you. They envy you. And so they pretend to like you just to throw monkey wrenches into your life, just to talk behind your back with somebody and have these people looking at you like you're a villain when really they're the ones spreading these false narratives about yourself. And I feel like I say that to say, I thought that this person was of good character because of things that I heard from other people. Like, yeah, I was excited to be around this person and learn some things possibly. And then kind of find out this person just does not like me at all. Like, and I don't know if they're taking someone else's word for it, or if they're, I don't know. I remind them of somebody, which in therapy we call that transference, right? When someone reminds you of somebody else and it elicits a kind of emotion inside of you. So whether you see somebody remind you of a sibling and you feel loving feelings, or remind you of a sibling and you feel anger based on your relationship with that sibling. And so I don't know if that's something that's going on with this person, but they definitely do not like me. It's evident, right? They only point out they never point out the good things that I do. They point out all of the negative things, like all of and they ain't even negative, like little tiny, things like, oh, you didn't do that. You didn't do that right. You didn't do that. And I'm like, I did 100 things correctly. And I did one thing not incorrect, just like not 100% correct, and you harp on that. And so that taught me, man, just to constantly just be mindful of people and a witness, be observant, and give them time to reveal their true self to you, good or bad. And then you can actually maneuver. I could, now I know how to maneuver. And I think if I did things a little bit differently, maybe they still would have not liked me, but I would have at least been able to not be surprised too. Like, not like, whoa, what's going on? I'd have been like, okay, but now it's so bad now that I don't think I can actually be around this person for much longer. So I got to make changes to make that not be that way.
Wow.
But yeah, that was pretty much my day. But then, of course, other people in my life who are very supportive and very beautiful, showed me support and kind of helped me, including yourself, help bring me out of that difficult experience. Yeah. And I think that's a big thing too, is support. Even though I don't have too many people in my life like that, like I don't have like a droves of friends and stuff, but the few people did give me some support that helped me throughout the day. Like, hey, okay, I'm good now. I'm good. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm hopeful for the future. And so that's kind of what my day, and I wanted to share that only because that was on my heart. I know some people may be going through a similar situation and they may feel like they're in between a rock and a hard place. But like you told me earlier, like you said, simpler said than done. Keep my head up. Keep your head up. Like Martin said, keep your head up. Even though it may be difficult, but just keep your head up anyway. And what's going to happen eventually is you're going to rise above that situation. Yeah, lick your wounds for a minute and then keep your head up. And I think it'll work out. Of course, not without work, but the mentality starts the process. So I hope that, those of you who are going through a similar, experience, be hopeful that it will change for the better. And don't feel like you have to subject yourself to that. If you got to remove yourself from a relationship that's abusive, or a job that's abusive, or a friendship that's been abusive, and you realize nothing you do will make a change in that other person, that you're just going to constantly be that person's whipping person, then you may want to find a way out. I'm not saying run away today, but start to think of, let me find a way out of this so I can have a healthier situation, whether it's, intimate or friendship, platonic, or a work experience. And that's what I learned today. Keep those things. Keep your head up, be hopeful, and honestly, don't let yourself just be abused. No, just be like, I'm not being abused no more. I'm going to find a way out of this. And that's couldn't work in every situation, every relationship in your life. So pretty much that's what I got.
Good way to start it.
So what's some things that you I don't know what you had going through your mind today, based on the expectations of coming on tonight and conversing and stuff like that?
Really just to I like everything that you said as far as going back to why we wanted to do this per se, because we're in some really interesting times right now, man. We're in some times where it's funny because in 2 elections ago, not to get political, and I certainly won't, when things unfolded the way they did, I remember I was at my employer and I had a lot on my mind. Something in me said, now is the time you have to fix credit. Like today, like do something today.
Right.
And as soon as I went on lunch, which was only 45 minutes of my time, I went straight to the bank, opened up a secure card. And because of that one move, in less than a year and some change, and as you know, I was in a shitty situation coming back from a previous state to the state that I'm in now.
Mm-hmm.
Me doing that one move, a year and some change later, I was able to get a house. So I'm sharing that. When you do things and you just, like, it's a feeling, sometimes you have to, you have to act on it. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm bringing that up also because, and knowing you're a really humble person. You're not really going to take any credit for it at all. But I know you're going to remember this conversation that we had vividly when I was going through what I was going through in the previous state that I was in. And I didn't know what to do. You were one of the last people that I spoke to that literally told me, I can't tell you what to do, but what you can do is look at it as the pros and cons. If you stay where you are now, what are the pros and what are the cons? But if you move back to where you were, what are the pros and what are the cons? And whichever outweighs more from a con perspective, maybe you can make that decision from there. Those weren't your exact words, but it was pretty much right around. And it was that pretty much sparked the change from me coming back, my credit being in the dumps, my emotions being in the dumps, my spirits kind of being in the dumps, but there was still life in me. So there was a lot more to do, so
right.
I know this is necessary because we have a lot to share that can definitely help people. I mean, look at what I'm sharing with you now, how you were able to help me. And we've known each other so long. I could have easily said, that's just my friend. Like, it sounds good, but let me go ahead and say, I don't even want to imagine where I would have been if I would have stayed. What I do know is what happened the moment that I moved back. And it wasn't instantaneous, but it was pretty fast how that all transpired, if that makes sense. So really just wanted to, as far as, thinking about what we should speak about, like anything that's, on our heart. I mean, and the way you started out, perfect. But at the end of the day, us doing this, I know for a fact, for a fact, and I'm not going to take any credit for this statement, but like Tupac said, obviously we don't want to change the world, but we will spark a lot of brains. I know that for a fact.
See, what's so amazing, why I've been smiling like half the time you were speaking is, in some ways you gave me credit, right, for you making that move. And then you said what you did was, you made that move and then you went and got a secure credit card. And then within a year and some change, you was able to buy a house, right? And so this shows you how friendships are so beautiful and important and beneficial, because by me at that time, giving you that that advice, and then you took the advice. Like, the advice wasn't anything about building your credit or getting a secure credit card or nothing like getting a house. It was just like, you stay here, what you think's gonna happen? If you leave, what you think's gonna happen? And you decide to leave, and then a snowball effect of good things started to happen. Mm-hmm. And then now we go back 2 or 3 years later, and then we're talking. And I vividly remember this conversation. I was in my office and I was talking to, and this is when things, I'm in my office and before the day gets busy, and we're talking and we end up talking about, and I'm like, I think I was saying something to the fact like, I'm proud of you. You like the first one out of the group, that got a house on your own. You did it on your own, like nobody, like. And I'm like, and I said, I don't know when I'm gonna get a house. I don't know. I don't know. And he was like, why you say that? And I'm like, because my credit's messed up. Like, by being a helpful person financially and not understanding credit at that time, it affected my credit negatively. Like I had good credit, and then helping somebody, utilizing my credit, it just knocked it down significantly. Where I end up, I threw my hands up at that time. And then you said, hey, bro, go to this bank and get a secure credit card from this bank. And they might ask you to go ahead and put down X amount of dollars towards that line of credit. But if you if you maintain it, if you keep it under 30% utilization, within a certain amount of time, you're going to get your initial money that you put in back. And I was like, okay, let me go and see. So I went ahead, went to that bank, and actually, what was funny, what was interesting to you and to me, made you laugh and made me go, whoa, is they gave me a higher line of credit than they gave you with a lower amount to put down towards my own credit. So you was like, oh, that's even less than what I put down. And then within, I think it was like 6 months or something, 6 months or a year, they gave me back the money. And it was so funny because then one day I'm using, like you said, I was actually like 20% utilization. I was keeping it under 20%. I didn't even go near the 30. And one day I went to pay my bill, pay what I used, and I'm like, what's this extra money in here on this credit card? And it was my money that I put in. And I was like, whoa, that was fast. Like that was pretty quick. And because of that one credit card, that one secured credit card, when I got that money back, it became a legitimate credit card. Like it wasn't secure. It was like, it was my credit card now. I had a line of credit, for real, for real. And my credit score jumped. And then soon after, I bought a house, a year and change, just like your situation. Just like, similar to how you did it. So that showed a pattern. That showed if you utilize these steps, if your credit is shot and you get a secure credit card and you utilize it under 30% and keep it there. And see what I learned with the credit too. If you use it at 20% utilization, don't use 25% usually next month. They're going to ding you on it because it's higher than your previous month. They want to see you either at that same utilization or under it. But be mindful, once you go under it, if you go back above that, they're going to ding you. They're going to go, well, you were less responsible than last month, right? So be mindful. If you don't want them to ding you and you're consistently at 20, 23% utilization, stay there. Because if you go to 15% utilization and the next month you go back to 20%, they're going to ding your credit score. And you're going to go, what happened? I'm still under 30. They don't care. They're looking at you. You were less responsible this month than the previous month. And I had to learn that too. I learned that after though, because I was strict with it. I stuck to it like a soldier in boot camp, like a soldier in basic training. Oh, what you told me, I stuck to it. Like I didn't veer from it for a long time. And my credit score went up. My credit score went up. And everything you taught me, then I started taking it into our own hands and playing with it. Once I got the house, then here come the real credit. Here come the real credit. More credit offers than this. And I'm like, oh, because my credit score went really, really well. And then I started playing with it. I said, okay, I'm at 25%. Then I went down to 15%. They raised my credit score. I'm like, oh, okay. Then I went down 11%, raised my credit score. Then I went to 20%. They dinged it. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, I see the game. And I kept going to the point where my credit score became excellent. And I'm like, and it wasn't that difficult, right? It wasn't that hard. Once you gave me the tools, it became something that I knew how to utilize. And so one hand washes the other. you took my advice, and with that advice propelled you into a line of movement that pushed you forward and gave you more knowledge that in a few years helped me. And if I didn't give you that information or that advice, and you didn't take it, I wouldn't have been able to buy my house. At least not at the time that I did. I wouldn't have been able to buy it at the time that I did, because I wouldn't have had that understanding from you at that particular time. I would have kept moving in the direction of, I don't know, man, when I'm gonna get a house, and you wouldn't have came in at that time, but you did, and it's because of our friendship.
And speaking of like timing, to what you were saying, so I was able to accomplish something recently, which I told you about briefly. And I was speaking to the someone today that helped me through that process. And the individual was telling me, your timing is impeccable, because the price points of what we're doing now, or the rate exchange, is going up. So you'll have to pay less of something per se than all of these other individuals. So going to what you're saying now, how timing is everything, and why when you have the right people in your life, it's funny how things just happen, because when you got your house, it was right before, or maybe in the midst of the pandemic, but even the pandemic couldn't stop you because you were already in the momentum. Now imagine it was a little bit later, not saying you wouldn't have gotten the house, certainly would have, but obviously you have more equity, you're in a better position, etc.
Oh no, definitely, because I believe it was 2018. I believe it was 2018. It was 2018 that you gave me the advice, right? 2018. Yes, 2018. You gave me the advice, because I had my office and I was, running things over there. It was 2018. So 2018 gave me advice. By 2019, I was looking for homes. So it was less than a year, because No. It was 2018 you gave me the advice. 2019, approximately a year later, I started looking for homes. And it was like a lot of homes too. It was a lot. There's a lot available. So I was looking at this house, and it's like, pick of the litter. I'm like, I like this one. Let's go see this one. I put in a couple of offers, right? Didn't work out. And then the pandemic hit, right? Yeah, that's what happened. So the end of 2019 is when I started to start looking at homes. And then here come the pandemic kicked in, right? February, March. So I just started looking for homes, and then like 3 months later, less than 3 months later, because the pre-approval is 3 months, so it's less than 3 months. Boom, the pandemic hit, houses got scarce, and you couldn't even go see a house because of the fear of COVID, right? You couldn't even go see the house because they didn't want anybody.
We're in that momentum already.
Yeah, I already had one. So I'm like, oh no. So then a few months go by and I didn't go see any more homes. And then they lifted the ban of going in, right? And so started looking again. I had to get another pre-approval because the 3 months had expired. So boom, got another pre-approval, started looking again. But this time now the interest rate went down. So, but the house market got scarce.
Right.
Interest rate went down, house market got scarce, but I found a house, closed, interest rate was very low. It's very low. So now the interest rate starts going back up. And on top of that, the housing prices skyrocket. So my house gained a significant amount of value in a short period of time. So if I was to sell it now, I would make decent money, and the bank would make decent money because the interest rate has went up. So they gonna get a nice return on their percentage because they're gonna get more money from the next buyer than they got from me when it comes to interest wise. And so I'm saying that to corroborate what you said, at that time is beneficial because there was an incline in the, interest rate and in the housing prices. Some of the houses I looked at how much they worth now, and it's like, whoa. I look at my house's value. I'm like, whoa, okay. If I sold it now, I'm coming out with some nice cash, So, like you said, with good friends and good people around you, things just kind of fit.
Yeah.
Despite some of the difficulties that, because we could have looked at, oh man, the housing market, I can't even look at houses. I could have been pissed and feeling distraught about it, but it all fit and worked itself out. And that's what good supportive friends are there to help you along. And so, it definitely, you're totally right.
Yeah, good supportive friends. And then to add to that, again, why us doing this is so necessary. It's not like we're talking about, and I'm not trying to sound funny, like, oh, I gave you the cheat code to beat Street Fighter. Mm-hmm. We're talking about real applicable stuff.
Right. You told me how to do a Hadouken. You told me how to press down forward A. Mm-hmm. You didn't say this is a cheat. No, these are the actual moves that you got to make to win. And these are the combinations, but they're not cheat codes, it's just practice. It's correct. Practicing right movement. And you saying that makes me look at the world. I remember when I first got into like YouTube and this was over 10 years ago, right? I'm getting into YouTube, I'm getting into all these different things, and information at that time was more correct, more factual. But since then, it comes all of these like little schemes, like get rich quick, get information quick, learn how to speak Spanish in 2 weeks, And I'm like, when did this all pop up? And no one actually teaching people real methods or techniques, real life techniques to get to where they want to go. People say, well, hit spiritual enlightenment in 6 days. Like, no, you can't. It takes a lot of practice to master the understanding of certain philosophies in this world. And so what I hope that we help do is bring back the real work that really works, and not this,
just do
this today. Yeah, instantly, instantly muscles, instantly smarts,
I wish.
It brought me back, thinking about that, bring me back to we weren't even in high school yet. And you had recorded by mistake. I guess you pressed record on a tape player. You pressed record by mistake, and you and another one of our friends from back in the day was saying, hey, how you get waves? And so I don't know how I got my hands on this tape. But you know what it is? You had made me a song. You had recorded a song for me or something, or an album. But them aftermarket tapes back in the day, they had way more tape inside. So I guess you hit record, not knowing you were recording your conversation. He asked me how to do waves, how to make waves 360s. And you gave him the most detailed steps of how to get waves. You was like, first, you got to wash it here. Then you got to put the sporting waves in. Then you got to rub it down. Then you got to get the do-rag, right? You got to put it over your head. Then you got to get a wet wash rag. It got to be hot, real hot. You got to put that on the do-rag. Then you got to get a stocking cap. Put the stocking cap over the do-rag and brush the stocking cap. I was like, that's a lot of detail. He was sitting there like, really? And I could hear him. I can't see y'all, but I could hear him sitting there like, oh, okay, so yeah, I gotta wet the do-rag, right? Yeah, then you gotta brush the do-rag, then you gotta get the stocking cap, and you gotta brush that and leave that on all night. But then tomorrow morning, wake up extra early, you gotta massage the line off your forehead. Because you don't want to go outside with this line on your forehead. It's going to take 25 minutes to disappear.
Oh,
bro, and you were like 12 or 13. We were like 12 or 13 years old. And that had me cracking up. It was so funny that I don't remember what album you had recorded for me. I don't even remember. I think it could have been Biggie. Get money. Like, get money. What you say? Get money. I think at the end of that, I was doing something and I just let it play. And it's like it ended. And then it was like, and I hear shuffling. I'm like, what's that? So, but you had 360s. You had 360 spinning waves. You ain't tell him, yeah, man, just go ahead and brush your hair twice and do like that and you be spinning. No, you told him it takes work. You don't get spinning waves overnight. If you sleep without a do-rag and it's rolling on your pillow, your hair gonna be wild crazy. You told him, and that's what I think it's hard to find now in the world because everybody is flooded with all of this get it quick schemes. Whatever it may be, get rich quick, get babes quick, get bros quick, get muscles quick, all these things. I see all these, take this one pill every day and you will be the healthiest person in the world. No, that's not how it works. Oh, it's gonna flush your whole system in 24 hours. No, that's no. So I hope, and I'm actually hopeful that we're gonna bring back real life things for real life people. And if they follow our conversation and they follow the things that we've done, they're gonna see real progress. And they're gonna go, man, I'm glad I did that. And they better tell their friends and family, and those who listen about those particular things that we've done that work for them. Like for instance, when I went to Nigeria, and I don't know what I had, I came back with a vicious upset stomach. Vicious. I was like, please, I don't want to use the bathroom no more for another week. This is vicious. And I tried all kind of stuff, Pepto-Bismol, this and that, and it would stop for like a little bit, but then it will come back just as vicious. And I'm like, man. So something in me said, take large amounts of oregano oil in the little capsule, little golden capsules. So they said recommend take one a day. I was taking 3 or 4 a day. And within less than a week, my stomach was less upset, and I'm back to normal. And I'm like, yo, this oregano oil killed whatever was up in there causing me agony. Mm-hmm. And it was my fault why I went through that because it was some food that was warm, it was hot, and I couldn't eat. I ate already and I wasn't hungry, so I left it out. I didn't want to put it in the fridge. And I left it out and said, I'm gonna eat it later. I left it out. And in Nigeria, well, where I was, it was like the food was real. It was like real. It wasn't super preserved or anything. It was just real food. And so leaving it out with real food comes real organisms. Comes real organisms living in there. And them organisms grew and grew and grew. And whatever it is got in my system and messed me up. But the oregano oil got rid of them, killed them off, and I was better. So I say that to say, people, if you follow yourself, not all of the time you're gonna be right. and we're gonna give you some of those like oregano oil. And I take it now regularly, just cause I know it's healthy. I take it. I don't take the capsules no more. I take the in a glass bottle with a little dropper, and it burns. So I try to get it right down the head before it touches anything else because it burns. But but that's time and longevity. It's not a quick fix type of thing. Those quick fixes are not for long. They're not permanent. They're not for long. They even when it comes Fix-A-Flat, right? People bust a tire, they get Fix-A-Flat, they spray that stuff in there, it patches the hole and it fills up your tire, but it's only temporary. It's for about, you're supposed to do that for like 50, 60 miles. Get yourself to a tire shop and get a new tire or have them really fix it. But most people think these Fix-A-Flat, that's just a concept. It's for temporary. So these get it quick things are just for short period of time. It doesn't last long. But building your credit for real really lasts long. You know what I mean? You really build your credit strong, even when you make mistakes, your credit will take a little dings, but it's so strong, it just blocks it. Bang, bang. And then your credit will still be high, even though it's taking, you might 20 points, but your credit is still 690. 20 points and it's still 700. You're like, okay, you still good. Bring it back to the 712, 715, 730. If you build strong, solid credit. But of course, as humans make mistakes. If you do ding your credit too much, go back to the basics and you're gonna build it back up to where it's supposed to be. It's a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game that you gotta learn how to play it. Learn the rules and you follow the rules and you will be successful. And that's in everything. So,
yeah.
But yeah. So the advice you gave me, it worked. Proof is in the pudding. And we'll talk more about that in future, conversations. And of course, if you guys want to, find out exactly what banks to utilize, definitely ask us. We will give you that information, where you can get, some of the better, secure credit cards, and then which ones to avoid, because there's some credit cards you want to avoid because they're predatory. So, yeah, but hope these things resonate with you guys. I know Aid feels similarly, that he hopes that it resonates, and then, we can help people help themselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that I'm done for tonight. Anything else you want to add?
I'm just looking forward to more of these, which we're definitely going to do, because we definitely have some insights that will help people make some changes that can steer the ship a different course. And and you and I, like, did we do anything immaculate? No, but what we did in a short amount of time and how we did it, it's not like you don't really hear it often. So I'm saying that to say that we have a lot to share that can help a lot of, it's not like we're out there giving advice, but look at where we both grew up. We both grew up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
In the era of, like, right after the crack era, right? Decimated Bed-Stuy to where now the drug dealers ran Bed-Stuy.
Right.
And then the coming of the Bloods and the Crips. So we grew up in that really tough era, but we didn't even know it was tough because we lived in it. So we didn't look at it like, oh, drug dealers across the street. We just went to the store, and all the drug dealers were standing there. We it was just what it was. It was what it was. But you're right. That's how it. We did not do anything like magnificent or at a large magnitude. It's reminiscent of the Bible, when the Bible says, line by line, precept by precept, line by line, here a little, there a little. And that's how you get to success. That's how you get to the goal, is step by step, one foot in front of the other, one plan in front of the next. You know, you set up a plan and you hit each point of that plan. You have a 10-point plan, you hit each point, you get to 10, boom, you got to your goal. But it's not going to be a big jump from here to there instantaneously. That's rare. That's rare. Like that guy, rare. It's a rare situation. You know, it's very rare. So it's this is the most effective and efficient ways of doing things. That step by step, line by line, precept by precept, one foot in front of the next. You know, and then you will have a magnificent result. You know, the result is what's magnificent. But people get hypnotized and get confused and get manipulated by what's on social media and on television and movies. You know, this whole lights and glitz and glamour and romance, and that's not reality. You know, but yeah, definitely, we're definitely gonna do this more. You're gonna hear from us some more, so don't even worry about it. Yeah, y'all gonna hear. Y'all gonna get the lessons of life that we've learned to hopefully give y'all some. And then hopefully, you know, you guys are interested, and you guys let us know. Give us some lessons, you know, give us some experimentations that we could dabble with, you know, to take us even further than we are. So
I'm not afraid to implement clearly.
Definitely. We've implemented so many experiments, man. If we could get personal with y'all and tell y'all the story, y'all be like, yo, crazy, you did that. Oh, experimentation. But you know, we experimented for real. You know, all type of stuff to see if it worked or didn't work. And so that's what brought us to where we are today.
So I got though. Until next time, which there will
yes.
be
Oh yeah, soon. Until next time, you'll see Lou and A soon. All right. So thank y'all for listening, and you know, we'll see y'all, or y'all see us soon.
Most definitely.